Hey, welcome to People Think About It. Today we're gonna be on People Think About It, and we're gonna have a real interesting subject. We're gonna talk about AI, and our guest is Miss Aurdery Bell Kearny. Audrey is a podcaster, an author. She's headed the Women's Chambers in Gwinnett County, Georgia. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's a tech person. So today we invited Audrey in because we're going to get into some information about AI because so many people are afraid of this AI, and we're going to just briefly try to give you some basics and tell you how AI benefits you or what to be afraid of about AI. So today, let's thank Miss Audrey for coming in. Miss Audrey.
Thank you for having me. As always, I'm happy to be here.
Okay. So we're going to dive into this AI thing because I know that you are big on AI, you're AI tech. So explain to our audience, what is AI?
So AI, and a lot of people think that AI just recently started, but it's been around for a while now. Like, it's been around about 7 years. It's been around before that, but it started to become known around 7 years ago. And here, over the last 8 months, is when the general public has really gotten an opportunity to use AI. So it's like this rage. But I think back to when I started Good Morning Gwinnett, which is my podcast. When I started Good Morning Gwinnett in 2018, I also had an Alexa skill that I created for my podcast.
Okay.
So it's on Alexa. So Alexa is AI. So if you got a smart speaker in your house or a Google speaker in your house, you got Siri on your phone. We've been using AI for a while, but it was only in the past 8 months that people have gotten excited about it because now the general public got a chance to see how they can actually participate. The AI that I'm talking about right now, only Amazon could do it. But Amazon did it. They had tech teams that built the AI for you to help you get your stuff on the smart speakers and things like that. Google did the same thing. Now the general public can go on there and type in a prompt and get a picture. So that's the difference. So AI is just smart technology that's just continuously to get smarter.
So tell us what AI actually means.
AI stands for artificial intelligence. Now, the reason that's artificial is because it's not human. Humans are training the artificial intelligence to think like us. The difference between the way we think and they think is that we are human and we can have emotions attached to our thinking. Now, they're trying to make it where AI seems more emotional, but I don't think that's ever going to be possible. Is it smart? It's already smarter than us. Every day it gets smarter because whenever you go in and type in anything in Google and you ask a question, Google is automatically recording that response and the answers. So we're training it as we go. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that when they go and search for something, we're actually training the AI. So Google has Bard. Then you got Copilot, and you got Bing Chat with Microsoft. Microsoft is a partner with OpenAI. So OpenAI kind of launched this whole thing. It was OpenAI. It was supposed to be free to the general public. And then I guess they said we need money to make this flow. So it can't be a nonprofit and open to everybody anymore. So now it's not an open source platform anymore. Microsoft just dumped a bunch of money into AI with OpenAI, and now they kind of have ownership in there. So when you go to Bing Chat or Copilot, you can get more benefits of that. Amazon, on the flip side, just dumped a whole bunch of money into Anthropic. So Anthropic AI is called Bard. Back in the day, IBM had its own AI. It was called Watson. And we've heard that before, but we didn't know exactly what Watson was. So. Yeah.
All right, so you see a lot of these commercials or when you're on social media and they're telling people to go to AI chat AI to ask this chat AI to how, for example, how do I build an effective email or how do I build an effective website? And when you go to AI chat, it gives you a layout on how to build this. So explain that a little bit.
So right now, there's so many AI tools out there. So if you go to ChatGPT, which is owned by OpenAI, and you say, "Hey, ChatGPT, I want to start an effective email." It's called prompt engineering. So you type in a prompt, right? And the prompt may say, how can I quickly launch a website that's 7 pages on food, right?
Okay.
You type that in, and ChatGPT is going to spit out exactly what you need to do. Depending on how you type in that prompt, you can say, please give me the code, give me the CSS code for that, which means it's going to give you the code for what the page should look like. So CSS, when you see a website and you see the pictures and all that and the layout, that's CSS. That's the front end of the website. You can ask for that code. Now the back end of the website could be, hey, I need the back end code as well. It'll give you the back end code. That's great if you understand coding. If you don't understand coding, it's still foreign to you. The difference is if you get the code for what you're looking for and you hire a coder and you go to GitHub and you put the code in, now you see what the website looks like on the front, you see what the website looks like on the back, all from ChatGPT, but then you have a coder go in there and take a look at that and fix whatever bugs you may have in it. Now, that being said, moving forward, you still have to have someone manage that site, because if you're not a techie who understands code, you got to have somebody that's going to do maintenance on the site just to make sure bugs are taken out of it.
Now, so who will be able to use AI?
Anybody right now.
Anybody
that knows how to go in and type the prompt in, they can use AI. You don't need any special skills because of the tools that have been developed. There are so many tools. There are thousands and thousands of tools out there for you to do anything. I did a presentation. I had a presentation one morning, and I had the bold Thursday night. The presentation was Friday morning, and I forgot to do the presentation. And I have a tool called Tome, Tome. And I was like, I got to do this presentation. I just went in there and said, I need an 8-page presentation. It was a prompt that I typed in. I typed in 8-page presentation on AI for video marketing. That's what it was. And it gave me the entire presentation. I had a 1 page. It did it in like 2 minutes.
Okay. And so let me ask you this question, because when we have probably more people that's not in technology than we do people that are in technology. And a lot of people that aren't in technology are kind of afraid of this AI. And also people that's in technology is afraid of AI. I've seen something on 60 Minutes the other day where they had took these 2 robots and they was programming them. And the guy was talking about how the robots had 3 layers of understanding. And their goal was to score a soccer ball. They had these 2 robots playing each other. So every time they would miss, they would compute how they missed and why they missed. And it would go down to 3 different layers. This guy was explaining about AI. They called him the grandfather of AI, this guy that knows it. So eventually that these robots got so much data that they were able to score the soccer ball against each other, right? And then the guy asks, well, if they can collect all this data, eventually will AI be smarter or even be emotional to what human beings are, because the information is really coming from human beings.
They're already smarter than us. Let me just say that, because robots are a machine, right? With a chip in there somewhere, in their head, in their chest, somewhere. They're already smarter than us, and the chips are tiny. The chips about the size of like
a fingernail, something like that.
They're tiny, and so the technology has already been programmed and installed in the robots, right? So they're already smarter than us already. The emotional side, they're not going to be able to make them emotional. However, they're going to be able to program them to make them think they're emotional. They would never be emotional. They're not human, but they can program them to make them think that they're emotional. So we're going to always have like the upper hand on that side. But when it comes to being smarter than us, they are already smarter than us. Because think about this. If I can go there and type in some words, create me a PowerPoint with 10 pages about video marketing, and it spits it out in 2 minutes, it doesn't have to research anything. It just spits it out. I'm talking about the entire thing along with the pictures and everything. Like it generates the pictures, it generates the entire presentation. Took it 2 minutes. So it's already quicker than us. It's already more productive than us, and it's already smarter than us, and it's only getting smarter.
So my next question would be, as like you said earlier, that this AI creates this website for you, but you still need a tech person to be able to go in and manage the site and clean up things in the site. So in saying that, even when you're asking AI to write you a presentation and everything, how secure are you just to be able to take that what AI wrote you and get up and read it, or should you proofread it before you get up and read it?
You should definitely proofread it because AI does what's called hallucinations, and so even though there's a lot of content that they know already, some of that stuff they make up. And that's what's the dangerous part of this, because a lot of people don't know, like they do these great articles. So for me, I knew what video marketing was. I just didn't have time to do the presentation because I forgot, right? Had I not known that, it could have given me anything. And I could have and went with that and totally been putting out bad information. But because I knew video marketing, I did read through it to make sure. When I read through it, I realized it was missing a page, so I just went in and manually put the page in. So you still need to read through, right? You also need to, if you're going to use something like a ChatGPT now has plugins. So a plugin is another piece of software that's used in conjunction with ChatGPT. So let's say, for instance, I say, I want you to write me an article. But before I tell ChatGPT I wanted to write me an article, I'm going to go look for a plugin and say, I want you to write me a human article that can be recognized in the search engines. So I click that plugin, it pops up, and I tell it what to write for me. And it writes what I wanted to write. And it's more human-like. It sounds better. It doesn't sound so robotic. So the scary part to the scary part to AI is that it's so smart that it's smarter than a lot of folks. Remember back during the presidential race, it was fake news.
Well, and that's what the guy on 60 Minutes was saying, that this AI will become so intelligent that it's going to be hard to describe what's fake and what's real.
It is. And so my daughter and I had a conversation the other day. She was saying that someone said that they're cloning your voice right now, and the calls are coming into your phone. It sounds just like your family member, and they're asking you for help. Right? And people freak out behind that because if it's the voice and you recognize the voice, you think it's your person. So I'm telling everybody, they can clone your voice. If you got audio sitting out there in the internet space anywhere, the AI is right there right now that can clone your voice and make it sound just like you. So I would tell anybody and their families, you all need to have passwords or code words in the family. So if a strange call comes through, what's the code word?
Is facial recognition part of AI?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. As a matter of fact, they've been doing facial recognition for a while. It's only going to get smarter. Amazon just came out with the palm, where you can go in the store and the store the thing, you put your hand over the thing and it reads your palm, and pay. You can pay with your hand. Amazon has that, right? It's called Amazon Palm.
So let me ask you this: for like I said earlier in the conversation, a lot of people are afraid of this AI. So we know that they're pushing it, so it's going to be the wave of the future. So someone that's just a basic everyday person, that's not a tech person or whatever, how would you suggest to them to approach AI to get to the point of understanding it just a little?
The first thing I would say is I think that everybody should understand AI just a little. There's a site called Udemy, udemy.com. If you go to Udemy and just type in AI for beginners, you can find a course that's probably a couple hours long.
Okay.
The course is probably going to cost you $12 to $13, right? And look at Michael Jackson coming through on the phone through AI. No, just kidding. You can go to sites like Udemy, Coursera, Skillshare, and find really inexpensive courses that you can take just to get the basic understanding. And if you don't want to do that, just go to YouTube University. You can learn anything on YouTube, anything. If you want it to be more structured and continuous, then you go to a platform like a Udemy or a Coursera or a Skillshare, and you find a course and you sit down and you learn. The problem people have is they don't want to sit down and learn. Right. They don't have the patience to sit there because they're not interested in tech. So it becomes very boring and arduous. And so it's like, oh my God, I really don't feel like sitting through this. Here's the problem. If you don't learn something, you're going to get left behind. Right. If you don't learn something, you don't know where you fit into the big scheme of AI. So you got to spend some time learning something, or you're just going to be on the outside looking in or left behind.
Okay. So in that, if you don't study and you get left behind, I guess what I'm trying to say is that, like people, like I said, these tech people are like, this AI is like the best thing to ever happen for them. You know what I mean? And so I guess what I'm digging for is that basic person. because like I say, I see a lot of things that says go to chat ABT.
GPT.
GBT. See, and when you go to that chat, but if you still don't understand what you're chatting about, you know what I mean. I'm just trying to figure out what is the bone of the basics of person that not a tech person.
So here's the thing: the first thing you want to ask yourself is, do you need it, right? And the reason you want to ask that, because you may not need it. You may be in a position where you don't need it for your household. You don't need it for your job. You don't need it. But if you do say, I want to learn about it, Chat GPT, the only thing you need to do is know how to type in a prompt. Prompt engineering is what's going to get it started. So when you go to Chat GPT, it's free.
Okay.
You input your name and your email in, and you open up a free account. You're going to get a little dialog box, and in that box, you type in what you want. The minute you type in what you want, ChatGPT is going to spit out what you just asked for. Okay. So that's the basics. Like, you don't need a class for that. You just need to know how to open up a ChatGPT account. You go to chatgpt.openai.com to open up your ChatGPT account. It's free.
It's GPT.
GPT.
And what does GPT stand for?
Generative something. I forgot that part.
Oh, okay.
Well, can I ask you this question?
Yes.
So, like you said, it's for people who really need it. So let's look at my parents at the 80s and up, mm-hmm. or generation. Mm-hmm. And they have a lot of technology, but not as extensive as young people. Do they need it?
It depends on what they're trying to do.
I mean, what if they don't really do much of anything, like older people?
There's things that they can do. So let's say, for instance, you needed meal prep, right? Mm-hmm. Let's say they got to the point where they couldn't do for themselves and they needed meal prep, or they needed to pay bills and they don't know how to go on the internet. You could connect your credit cards to your account and just say, hey, Alexa, pay all my bills.
And see, that's frightening to me when you start putting your credit cards in your.
Out there anyway.
Well, I mean, it's out there, but I mean, like I said, you have these high technology people that know how to go into certain rooms, I'll call them, and able to just take over your. I've seen it happen where people have actually went into like some of these scammers and taken over people's lives. And I guess that's part of the frightening part of when people dealing with this technology.
They've done it anyway, though. They are doing that anyway. They've been doing it.
So what can you do if you choose to do that? Put your like you say, your credit card information or information, or your banking information. Say, hey, Alexa, pay this. What can you do to protect yourself?
The one thing you could probably do to add an extra layer of protection on top of what the banks may have already is probably buy like a LifeLock software to go on top of the bank, right? So LifeLock is a company that provides protection over your personal information, like your social security number, your birthday, your credit scores, and things like that. You got to pay, but people don't want to pay the extra money.
Right.
That's the problem. So they got extra layers of protection for you, right? And you see them pop up everywhere, but people don't want to pay the money because those companies, they pay people to sit there and watch your stuff, right? You would think that the banks had really good protection, security, right? And they do. But then you got people that the bank done pissed off. You got disgruntled employees that are just, they know everything about the system. They're the ones who doing that kind of stuff.
Because I know with I think it was my one of the bills I pay, they came up with a system. You know how like when you call somebody, they used to ask you what's your credit card number, mm-hmm. and the person was like, you don't need to tell me, just punch the credit card number in. So I guess that's their layer of protection. So that person mm-hmm. that works for them won't have your credit card number and the expiration date and the 3-digit number on the back. And I thought that was kind of secure, because it's just like the other day I used my credit card with my cell phone company, and what I ordered didn't show, and I'm calling them. I'm like, "Where's my stuff at?" Well, nobody is not showing in our computer. Well, I gave somebody there my credit card number, so now I feel like my credit card is out there, numbers out there laying around, like you say. What if that's a disgruntled employee? Right. So now you want to tell me, oh, I'll credit you or whatever, but that's not protecting me.
Yep. And one thing I could say, and this is scary to me. So They have technologies right now. You put chips in your arms, chips in your hands, chips in your neck, and you just walk into the store and you automatically pay just by walking in. They're not stealing that. Not yet.
Right.
But the thing is, when you go back to the Bible, like, I feel like that's the mark of the beast. Like, you ain't put no chip in me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
What they say that is, I mean, like Dorshell and I watched the movie the other day, 57 Seconds. That was the name of the movie. And it was this guy, it reminded me, the movie is set up sort of like an Apple, you know, when they came out with the Apple Watch. But this guy came out with a band, and this band actually takes care of all your medical and tell you, you know, like how to protect you against diabetes, this, that, and it was this band. So with this band, his company was trying to put pharmaceutical companies out of business, you know. So the pharmaceutical company was battling him, and this guy from the media got involved, and he was like doing a story on both of them, right? But anyway, I don't want to tell you the whole story because I told you to look at that movie. So I'm telling my audience, look at the movie 57 Seconds. Then you'll kind of understand some of this AI and because I always say, when you see these kind of movies, either it already exists or it's coming.
Oh, let me tell you something. There are people so AI's been around for a minute, right? But in November, they released Open AI, right? There are literally thousands of AI tools that have been created in the last 8 months. Thousands. I'm talking about thousands. Like a tool for pretty much everything. Because Open AI helps you write the code. If you don't know how to write a line of code, it helps you write the code. All you need to know how to do is know how to get on a GitHub or a product hunt and drop the code in. Go find somebody on Fiverr or Upwork and say, look at the code, make sure it's right. And if they say it's right, then you're good to go. Now you release a product. Thousands in 8 months. Now, some of those won't ever go anywhere. But some of them are really, really good. Like there's a guy, he has a newsletter software. I want to say his software is 18 months old. It's already worth $50 million. It's a newsletter software. Now he just included AI in that. I'm sure it's probably worth $100 million in the next 2 years.
So let's say someone comes up with this kind of software. You go to Chat GPT and you ask them to build your front end and back end code, and you come up with a product now that works because you know, like you say, this code works, right? How do you secure that code so nobody else takes it?
You're really at the disposal of everybody around you, because if you don't understand coding, the only way for you to secure it 100%, and it's still not 100%, is for you to know how to code. Because if you don't know how to code, you gotta trust that you gotta give it to somebody, and they're gonna do what you need to have done with that code. So you gotta find people that you can trust before you even share your code, because a coder, I got someone right now doing some stuff on my website, right? It freaks me out every time I have to make them an admin, because I have to make them an admin for them to do what they got to do, but they can go in there and shut my whole site down because they're an admin on my site. So I have to trust that they are good people and they're going to do what they say they're going to do. Now, granted, my site is probably backed up on my server somewhere, but for a minute, it could go completely down. I'm screwed. So the only way for you to protect yourself, to protect your code, is to just keep it yourself or find somebody that you can trust. And here's the thing: if you're going to do that before you share your code, they need to sign off NDAs, right? That's some level of protection, but that's about all the protection you got.
So is that like how a few weeks ago, it was in the news and everything, how these tech guys shut down the MGM? So did they get the code, or did they use?
Hackers.
How does hackers use AI? I mean, to hack into things?
Probably, but they was hacking into stuff before they got AI. So there are companies, that's cybersecurity that you're talking about. So there are companies and they focus on nothing but cybersecurity, right? And they do what's called ethical hacking, which means they will hack. So I'll give you a quick story. So I'm the president of Blacks United in Leading Technology. It's a company based out of Dallas, but I'm the president for the Metro Atlanta area, right? So the founder, his name is Peter Beasley. He had a software company, a cybersecurity software company. So they were pitching the company, trying to get their business, right? So him and one of the members of his team was at this meeting pitching the company. While they were sitting there talking, the guy was hacking into the company's system, and he hacked it to show you are very vulnerable right now. Now, he could have gone to jail for that, but he was trying to make a point. because people think that because they got these $1 million systems, it's great. But if you don't have the proper protocols in place to block out people that are hackers, and you got some great people out there, they're smart. That's all they do is hack. But that's what cybersecurity come in at.
So let's go here because we touched on that, and I'm a real big advocate of especially us as people, as Black people, and of getting into this technology world. Could you give us a little bit how important it is for these young people to be able to go to school and learn about cybersecurity, or learn about this AI and advance with all this technology that's going on?
It's super supporting, especially for people of color, because like in anything, we've always been left behind. But a lot of times today, that's our fault.
Okay.
Right? It's not the man's fault. It's not the history's fault. It's our fault. And the reason I say that is because all of the education is right there. They don't. You pay your $49, you take the class, right? They're not saying, "Oh, you Black, you can't. We're not gonna take your $49." No. You pay your $49, you take the class, you get the skills. But people won't do that.
So, like back in the day when there was MySpace and when computers first came out, you had the code to, they didn't have it like Google. Mm-hmm. We didn't have that. We had to like make a code to get onto sites. Right. Is that pretty much like how it is? We had to do like the coding to get, there was like a whole bunch of coding to get on the.
You still have to code everything. Everything that's.
Was similar to how it was back in the day, like when MySpace was out.
Remember I just said I'm the president for Blacks United in Leading Technology. It stands for BUILT, right? In my group, I have a group of 20-something-year-olds. They're code geniuses. They're all Black. One of them is a female. Her name is Victoria. She's amazing. She's I call them raw coders because they code raw coding. They're not using AI. They're just coding, like sitting down at their computer coding. You don't have to do that anymore. Even when AI first jumped off, and this was around, we had a symposium in March, and they were like, "Yeah, you still got to know how to code." I think if I asked them that very same question today, because of where we've come in the last few months, they would probably say, "Yeah, I use AI all the time, and I just go back and check it," because they know how to code, so they know if the code is right.
So I guess one of the major questions was just like that. You had these people that used to have to sit down and code. Now AI codes, right?
Yep.
So it's just like Dorshell and I were talking the other day, and we was talking about different things that are AI. And like I was sharing with her, like Walmart, when you go into Walmart and you go to these self-checkouts, that's AI,
That's AI.
So where do you see in the future of AI putting human beings out of work?
Well, it's going to definitely put people out. It's putting people out of work right now, not even in the future, like right now in present day. And the reason being is because when you think of things like assembly lines, right?
Right.
With AI, the robots work faster. They don't call out sick. They don't got to go to the bathroom. They work. They're going to, until one of them break. And then when one of them break, then they need us. So if you are in a space where it's easy for you to be gotten rid of, you may need to become the person that's going to program the AI that's going to take your job.
Right.
That's a person you got to become. But that's us thing. So we don't do those things because everybody doesn't like tech. I just had a conversation with someone. I like tech, right? Everybody knows I like tech. And I just had a conversation like, we need to come up with a great initiative. And they was like, please don't make it tech.
Right.
And I was like, well, I don't know other kind of initiative to make.
But I seen this thing on social media the other day where it was this guy which he uses AI in the dental office, right? Mm-hmm. And he was talking about how precise this machine is when it goes to do this dental work on you. It's more precise than a human hand, And they was talking about how they use it in heart transplants and surgery and stuff now, and that it's so much steadier. But like you say, you still have to have that person to be able to program it.
Right.
And I guess one of the things that I'm saying, I guess for us as young people of color, that we need to get into the market of understanding being able to fix the program. Right. When you talk about cybersecurity and all that, I think that's the journey that we need to get these young people to understand. I mean, they on their computers so much with the TikTok and whatever else that's out there, the YouTube, Instagram, but they're not like you say, if you got somebody that's controlling your code and they shut your whole operation down, you're done.
You're done.
But if you know how to do it yourself, then you know what? Hey, I understand all this.
But Lamar, that has been the uphill battle before. Like AI, we don't understand that we could do tech, right? A lot of times we think it's so complicated. And to put that in perspective for you, right? So if you go to any website right now, there's a little bubble at the bottom of the website, right? If you click the bubble, it says, how can we help you today? And you type in how you can help me, right? And then you say, hey, I want to know, what time you guys open? And it'll come back and say, we open from 9 to 5, Monday through Thursday. That's what it'll say, right? That's the chat bot, right?
Right, because a lot of these sites now, when you go on, first thing to do, a chat box will come up.
Pop up.
Yeah.
So, okay. You can learn how to do become a chat bot creator in 2 hours, literally.
Okay, because I'm telling you, a lot of those responses that you get from them chat boxes are repetitive. It's the same thing.
But that's because if I go to people think about it, and I'll get my AI and say crawl Lamar's site and pull all the information out his site, everything he said, everything he wrote about, and then program it so when somebody comes to his site and asks a question, it just crawled your site and pull all the information so it can answer every question on the site because it just crawled your site and extracted all of the information on your site. That's called training the AI on your site. So businesses are literally spending money to train the AI on their site. They don't care about what you're doing, training on their site. So when their customers come to their site or potential customers, whatever question they could probably ask is in that chat bot already because it has trained it on the site. If it's not there, the AI is going to go find the answer and put it as a part of the new database because they just asked a question that it couldn't answer. So now that means this is a question that they answer. And I guarantee you on the back end of that site, there is a routing of that question. Like, here's a question we couldn't answer. And it goes into a database with questions that can't be answered. And then they have to look at that question, a human, look at the question. Okay, they asked the question. We got to train the chat bot to answer that question.
Oh, okay. And somebody has to program. So that's like those three layers that God was talking about on 60 Minutes, those 3 layers. Mm-hmm. Well, I understand this. Well, I got to figure this out. Now here's the answer. Right. So those 3 layers he was talking about.
Called training the AI.
So, I mean, it's just like, from what you're sharing is that we all probably need to know some form of AI or some form of technology or get a good friend to know it. Yeah. You know what I mean? Or
somebody that you trust.
Somebody you trust. It's almost like when Bitcoin came out and, when Bitcoin was big, they was like, okay, well, you get the Bitcoin, you make your password and stuff, but if you lose this password, matter of fact, the gentleman that happened to him, he lost, a couple of $1 billion because he couldn't figure out his password. Yep. So it's this whole AI thing, this whole technology is something that we must come to grips with and understand or get, like you say, or get a friend that really can help you.
And you want to know what's crazy? And this is what they're not talking about right now because AI is everywhere, right? So they're going to merge AI. They're going to merge Bitcoins. They're going to merge Web3 all together. Now, because they all came out separately. So Bitcoins came out first. That's cryptocurrency, right? They've been trying to figure out how to get rid of money and make a one currency world. They've been trying to do that. So apparently, crypto is it. But it's not it because people still don't understand it. They don't know how to get a wallet, all this different kind of stuff, right? But it's still there. Right. And there are people that have a lot of Bitcoins, right? And then they got Ethereums and they have, slow coins, all kinds of coins, Litecoin. I have Litecoins, Litecash, and Bitcoins in my portfolio, all of them, right? Don't mean nothing to nobody. It's just money just sitting there. And I look at it like, do I still have it? Because I want to see if I still got it. It's still sitting there. So that was all the rage. And everybody was excited because they thought we really were going to go to one currency. That didn't happen because you still got to get all these people off of paper money. That means you got to educate them and train them on how to go in and set up a wallet. Setting up a wallet is not easy.
Right.
A digital wallet is not an easy thing. So you got to, like you said, you got to make sure you don't write that 18 password and lose it anywhere because if you do, you screw. Now you got to figure out, okay, so how am I going to get my money back? People lose passwords all the time. Everything is password protected. Then pop off Web3. Oh my God, it's the next big thing. And it was for a hot second. So Web3 is when you see like augmented reality, virtual reality. You saw the NFTs. that was hot. Last year NFTs was hot. I was on the NFT train, but I was still asking myself this question. Well, I'm trying to understand why I would pay money for like some digital art. Like I couldn't figure that part out. But I was like, I'm gonna do my own.
Well, because they were saying it was part like you ownership, like you own it.
Yeah, but you just buy it. So I couldn't make that make sense for me, right? But I launched the NFT. I was like, I'm gonna launch an NFT too because I want to see like what people buy. Nobody bought it. Because one, they didn't tell you need an audience first.
Right.
So you think I'm gonna launch an NFT, and I did. My NFT was gorgeous. I had 1,000 pieces in my NFT portfolio. I didn't sell one. You know, I'm thinking I'm about to get rich on NFTs. But I still, me personally, thinking, well, I still don't see why this makes sense. So they was trying to figure out how to attach a utility to it. Well, you know, then we can do like a conference 3 years from now. So you pay this year and you got to come for the next 3 years to the conference. And I'm like, okay, that sounds like a regular membership site. It wasn't anything different about that. Fast forward to AI. Oh, I can see how AI is not going anywhere. I can see why in 12 months it's just going to get smarter and smarter. Why? Because now you can take AI, you can take Web3, AR, and VR, put them together, stand here, look at a hologram of a heart, have it spin the heart around, see which ventricle is messed up, see which artery is blocked. You can see that. I can see why. So, and then AI can say, look at this piece right here. Ventricle to the left is blocked. Right.
I've seen where a lot of artists are now, grasping hold of this AI, and they're willing to share you portions of their publishing. Or like I seen the other day on TLC, you can buy like into TLC. So when they write music, sing music, and this and that, you own part of that.
That's almost like this, but that's almost like the NFT. That's what that says, right? So I don't. To me, that's a way to raise money as an artist, right? But what's my return on that investment? So right? I don't want to buy it and just hold it. I want to make money too. Like I'm not trying to buy into it and just sit down.
It's almost like stock. It's almost like stock. So, you buying stock.
So that needs to come with a plan to say, hey, you can get this amount of interest on this. I need that part. I didn't see that part.
No.
Because that's when you buy stock, you say, you know what, I'm about to buy this stock or this mutual fund. And I know that this stock has performed over the last 10 years. It has been performing between 10 and 12%, blah, blah, blah. I know that, right? You tell me about buying some rights into music. How am I getting my money back? I don't care about having stock in TLC.
Right.
I want to know how I'm going to get a return on my investment.
So let me ask you this. Is streaming part of AI?
Streaming's been around for a long time. So since Napster, I don't know if it's necessarily a part of AI or have they now put AI inside of streaming, right? And they have. Because now you can actually create playlists, use AI. There's AI software is out there right now that will curate playlists from your favorite streaming platform and put it all together. And then you can share it with people, your playlist.
Okay.
From the AI stream playlist that's been put together by AI. I can tell you where I see AI going with music. And I think it's exciting, music and art. I think it's exciting. So I did a story about a week ago, maybe 2 weeks ago, in my newsletter, Aurdery AI. Right, and in that newsletter, Drake, it was a guy. His name was Ghostwriter.
Okay,
we don't know who he is. That's the name of his thing is Ghostwriter. He created a song using Drake's voice.
Oh, I seen that. What you can take like a person like Tupac and put Tupac in the song, and he could rap. Yeah, so I seen that.
Drake and a rapper, right? And I'm sure Drake didn't give him okay to do that, but they also said it was a good song. So I listened to the song. The song was great. Sound just like Drake and the rapper. The Emmys have now said they are going to take AI music and you can get an award for AI music as an Emmy.
Wow.
That's exciting to non-musical creators like me because I can sit down and say, you know what? I'm about to make a song. I'm about to use AI and make a song and submit it to the Emmys or submit it to some movie track and then play my song on the movie track and hopefully if the movie wins, my track is on there. So and that's me sitting down typing that stuff.
So in me knowing a little bit about the music industry like BMI and ASCAP and stuff like in clearinghouses and stuff like that. So once you do this AI and you take Drake and you take Lil Weezy and you put them together in a song, where I guess at some point in time you got to get clearing on that. because
supposed to, probably.
if you don't get clearing on that, that's open for a suitcase.
Absolutely, because you're infringing on both of their brands, right? And I'm sure their brands, did not. If they didn't give you permission to use their likeness or their voices, that's an infringement,
right?
And so you're definitely opening yourself up to a lawsuit. This guy is called Ghost. They don't know who he is.
And you know what? It's funny because when you say that, there's people out here to do that. And okay, I made $100 million. You sue me, and the judge said, "Well, I'm gonna award you $15 million." Well, I made $100 million. I'll give you $15 million.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? And I think that's the way people are going to start approaching it, because it's just like you said. A lot of these artists are really concerned about that now with this AI, because they don't know how they're going to get paid on it. They don't know how to get paid on streaming. So it's a whole new platform. And I guess that's the frightening part about all this technology.
It is a whole new platform, but I can tell you this. Even if someone created an AI song and they use Drake and whoever else they use, right? And they made that money, they better make sure that they can afford to be sued. Because if you made $100 million and you're going against Drake, who probably has $100 million,
oh, no question,
he can take it all and your house and leave you with absolutely nothing. And don't get it twisted. You got to pay the attorneys. They're going to get theirs. So you can make all this money and be stupid about it, right? But if you don't have the money to fight them, you can lose everything, the whole $100 million that you made, plus your house, plus your car and your kids.
So it's best if you make it, it's best to go to them and ask for clearing.
Yeah, but here's the thing: AI is changing things, right? You don't even need them. Like, just go find you a cute little voice, synthesize it, sit down and make you some beats on the beat.
Or get you some young person that's not famous.
I wouldn't get nobody. Me personally, I ain't getting nobody. I'm gonna sit down at my computer and I'm gonna come up with my artist, and I'm gonna come up with my song, and I'm gonna come up with my beats, and I'm gonna put it out there. Because I don't need you don't need anybody.
Okay, I understand what you're saying.
You don't need a person. You don't need anybody.
So it's all computer generated.
Listen, you can sit there and create a whole portfolio of songs, and then get something like Spreaker and turn on the auto DJ, and it play all your songs all day long. You can take them same songs and sell them to Epidemic Sound, right? And then when people play your song on Epidemic Sound, you get royalties all day long.
Oh, okay.
Listen, it's great.
So
it's scary on one front, but on the other front, it's a great.
It might be a good thing, because you look at all this junk music they putting out there now, and people buying it. So it might be a good thing, especially if you can create something that's entertaining and likable.
Think about when Run DMC and what's the man name? Walk This Way.
Oh, way. Yeah. I know.
They did a total crossover and became huge. Think about was it Toby Keith and the boy, the Cowboy song?
Mm-hmm.
Nas, what's his name? Lil Nas and the Cowboy. Nas X.
And Cyrus, Molly Cyrus.
Billy Cyrus.
Yeah, I think whatever her father's name is.
Okay, I think it's Billy Cyrus. Okay, so you had two humans doing it, right? They did a total crossover. Song was a hit. Now you can just take AI and create what you want to create. You can speak it in 3 languages. It's gonna be in Mandarin, English, and Spanish all at the same time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I can say here that to our listeners that, hey, we all got to get up on this AI. We got to get to the point of understanding, even if just understanding the basics of AI. To be able to know what's getting ready to happen, being abreast to what's happening in the world today. And like Aurdery said, even if you don't understand it, attach yourself to somebody that do understand it. It'll help you along the way. And we just gonna keep having these conversations and trying to put AI out there, and hopefully that we'll get to a point that we all understand it. And we're gonna reach out right now into our segment of options with Eddie, and see if we can get Eddie on the phone and see if Eddie what he thinks about AI in the financial world. Let's see if we can get Eddie on the phone. Hey, Eddie, how you doing today? Okay. So Eddie, what was here today talking about, we was talking about AI, and we want to just touch bases with you. We're talking to Eddie with and Eddie's options with Eddie. And he's gonna just tap in a little bit about how AI is working in the financial world. So Eddie, we just want to ask you a couple of questions. What do you think about AI in the world of finance and trading? So when you mean changing the game, so it's basically what you would call a broken, and or you are in front of a computer and saying, "Hey, I think this might be a great stock to buy today," or "Hey, I think that if you look over the past years of what this stock has done, AI is basically doing all that for you now." So let me say, in using AI in the option trading world, is your percentage rate a lot better of succeeding? So do you think eventually the AI will eliminate a lot of the risk that, as far as the end you're talking about, when it comes to human risk? Do you think that AI will eventually become a part of lessening the risk of that?
So I have a quick question for you, Eddie. This is Audrey. Um, do you think there should be regulations put in place because AI is super smart and now it's getting to the point where it can train itself, like the AI can train the AI, and so where there's that much technology, there's always fraudulent activities out there. Do you think there should be regulations put in place to oversee the AI when it comes to trading? Because when you think about stock options and things like that, one bad trade, one bad day in the market could crash the market. And I feel like because AI is so smart and it kind of can make predictions that we just don't know, or it can go in there and program something or cause something to shut down, a water line over and who knows where, or some oil lines. And it may not have happened, but it can cause like, systems to go down that could crash the market. Do you think there should be some oversight on AI as far as the stock market is concerned? Okay.
So you have these people in the world which we call greed people, and when you have a computer or a system like AI, I guess trying to calculate what is going to be the highs and what is going to be the lows, or when to buy and when to get out. Um, I guess my question would be the people that have money, that is big money, or even basically the people that have a little money that's trying to get rich quick. Where do you see them at in this position? Oh, okay. So, so my last question to you would be this: for a newcomer to trading, would you suggest to them to use AI, or would you suggest to them to learn the basics from a human standpoint? You still there, Eddie? Hello? I think we lost Eddie. Let's see if we can get Eddie back one more time.
I don't know. We got Make It Last Forever with Keith Sweat.
Yeah.
I don't know about Eddie. But Make It Last Forever show popped up. He was saying what I was saying earlier. Like, AI can make us.
Yeah, but you must have lost us. So go ahead, finish your statement. We hit you back. You still? Oh, okay. So just give our audience a little bit about or how they can contact you. They can go to, and you can tell us how they can contact you. Okay. And we want to thank you again, Eddie, for coming into the show and giving people all this. And we're going to talk a little bit more about how this AI is affecting the market or people that's trading in the market. And we're going to do, lead people to your website. And also we have Aurdery that want to give a little more information.
I forgot I was on the microphone. Yeah, so if you want to know more about AI, please subscribe to my newsletter. You can do that by going to aurderya.tech. aurderya.tech.
Okay, so we just created a platform about this AI, and we're going to have Eddie to help lead us to it with the options trading. We got Aurdery here if you want to know information and know the basics about AI, or even if you already know, she can help you elevate your AI knowledge. So we just want to thank both of you guys for coming in on People Think About It. And we're just going to get back to you, Eddie. We appreciate you coming in to People Think About It. Okay, we'll be talking to you, and you can talk to Eddie. Like you say, he said options with Eddie, or you can go to optionswitheddie.com, right? Okay, so you have those links to reach out to Eddie, and Eddie gives out free consultations, and you don't see that word free many times anymore. So thank you, Eddie, and we'll be talking to you. All right.
Bye-bye.
All right. So now we're leading it back to Aurdery. Aurdery, once again, give us your website and your contacts if people want to understand and learn more about AI.
If you're interested in learning more about AI, subscribe to my newsletter. You can do that by going to www.audrey, AUDREYAI.tech, audreyai.tech, audreyai.tech.
Okay, so once again, we're just going to ask you guys to, hey, start learning about this AI because it's coming, and we're going to have more about it on People Think About It. We're going to try to lead you guys into this information technology world that's being created on a everyday basis. As we talk here today, there's probably something new that's getting ready to happen about AI. So we want to thank you guys. You can listen to us at People Think About It. Reach out to us at peoplethinkaboutit.com. You can reach out to us at YouTube. So it's People Think About It at it's peoplethinkaboutit.com 1992. And that'll lead you to our YouTube page. And if you want, and we listen to every Wednesday at 8:00. You can listen to People Think About It. And once again, we want to thank you guys for listening to People Think About It.
Subscribe to the show and share it with your friends so that you never miss an episode. A new episode drops every Wednesday at 8 p.m. Thank you for listening.
Thank you for listening. People Think About It.
There you have it.